The demands for justice for a woman found dead under mysterious circumstances.
I just could not believe that my baby sister was gone. Somebody who I love, somebody who I protected, somebody who I've been around my whole entire life. Like I literally held her when she was born.
She was 23 years old. She had a dog, an apartment, dreamed of becoming a physical therapist. And on the night of December 11th, 2021, she let a man she met on a dating app into her home. By 6:49 the next morning, she was dead. And her family didn't find out for 2 days. From a handwritten note on her door. Not from the police, not from a phone call, but a note on a door. Before we get too deep, welcome to Homicide Crime Files. Kindly subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell icon for more posts. What happened to Lauren Smith Fields in Bridgeport, Connecticut is one of those stories that starts with a death and somehow gets worse from there. Because here's the part that should make your stomach drop. The investigation that followed her death may have done more damage than the night itself. Stay with me, because by the time we get to the end of this, you're going to have a lot of feelings, and most of them are going to be anger. Before we go any further, I need to say this. Lauren's story is one of dozens I've covered where a young woman met someone online and never came home. If you have a daughter, a sister, a friend, anyone you love, this channel exists for them. Subscribe right now, not for the views, because the next video I drop could be about someone in your city, and you need to be here for it. If you're the type who says, "I'll subscribe later," I want you to scroll to the comments right now and tell me why you're willing to risk missing that. Go ahead. I'll wait. Back to Lauren. Lauren Smith Fields was born January 23rd, 1998, in Bridgeport, Connecticut. She was, by every account, the kind of person people genuinely liked. Not the polite kind of liked where people say nice things because they have to. The real kind. She was funny, bubbly, and she had this energy that people remembered. She ran track at Stamford High School, studied cosmetology at Norwalk Community College, had a small side hustle doing hair and makeup, and she had this big, layered dream, physical therapist and cosmetologist. She wasn't just going to do one thing, she was going to do all of it. She lived alone on Plymouth Street in Bridgeport with her dog, active on Instagram, close to her family, her mother, Chantel Fields, her father, Everett Smith, her brothers. By December 2021, she was 23 and had recently matched with someone on Bumble. His name was Matthew LaFountain. He was 37. She was 23. He was 37. That's 14 years. I'm not saying that means anything on its own, but I want you to hold that detail. On December 11th, 2021, Lauren invited him over to her apartment for their first time meeting in person. Here's what Matthew LaFountain told police happened that night. He said they drank tequila with mixers, ate pizza, watched a movie, normal first date stuff, on paper. He said Lauren got sick at some point, threw up once, and then they kept talking and drinking. Around 2:30 to 3 inches the morning, he said she fell asleep on the couch. He carried her to bed. They went to sleep. Then, at around 6:30 a.m. on December 12th, he said he woke up and found her unresponsive, lying on her side, blood around her right nostril. He called 911. First responders arrived. At 6:49 a.m., Lauren Smith Fields was pronounced dead. A paramedic on scene estimated she had been dead for at least an hour before he even called. Let that sit for a second. He said he woke up at 6:30, but she may have been dead since 5:30, or earlier, and he was right there. Now, I want to be careful here because I'm not a detective and neither are you, but I need you to register what the scene looked like when police arrived, because this is where things start getting complicated. The apartment was described as disheveled. Bloodied sheets on the bed, a discarded condom in the trash, a pill sitting on the counter, a mostly empty tequila bottle on the table. Matthew LaFountain was still there. He told officers he had been performing chest compressions on Lauren under the guidance of the 911 operator. And here is where the story stops being just a tragedy and becomes something else entirely. When police arrived at that apartment, what do you think they did? They collected Lauren's ID, some cash, her credit card, her phone, and then they left. They did not fully process the scene. The bloodied sheets, the tequila bottle and glasses, the pill on the counter, the used condom left, right there. A forensic team did not return to that apartment until 18 days later. 18 days. And when they finally did send someone back, the evidence they collected was never logged at the state forensic lab, never analyzed. But here's the part that broke her family completely. Lauren's mother, Chantel Fields, and her father, Everett Smith, did not hear from police that their daughter was dead. Not on December 12th, not on December 13th. On the evening of December 13th, 2 days after Lauren was found, her family went to her apartment because she hadn't been answering calls. They found a handwritten note on the door. "If you're looking for Lauren, call this number." The number was her landlord's. Her mother found out her daughter was dead through a phone call from a landlord. Not a detective, not an officer, a landlord. Lauren's brother Tavar Gray Smith later said detectives told the family they didn't notify them because the man at the scene had provided Lauren's ID and passport, so they knew who she was, as if identifying her was the same thing as telling her parents she was gone. And when the family tried to get answers, the first detective on the case reportedly told them there was nothing suspicious, that the man was a nice guy, and that there was no need to investigate. I want you to really hear that. A 2-3-year-old woman is dead. A man she met on a dating app was in the bed next to her, and the detective said, "He's a nice guy." Lauren's family had to fight just to be treated like they mattered, and they did it while grieving.
The demands for justice for a woman found dead under mysterious circumstances. Lauren Smith Fields was found unresponsive in her apartment after meeting a man on a popular dating app, and her family claims police handling the case should be doing more. ABC's Zachary Quiche has the story.
This morning, the family of Lauren Smith Fields is looking for answers.
I just could not believe that my baby sister was gone. Somebody who I love, somebody who I protected, somebody who I've been around my whole entire life. Like I literally held her when she was born.
According to the Bridgeport, Connecticut police report, on December 12th, authorities found a young adult black female lying on her back that did not appear to be breathing. A man who says he met Lauren on a dating app called the police. That man, who we are not identifying, says he had only known her for 3 days and visited her apartment for the first time the night before, when he claimed she got sick. The morning of December 12th, that man noticed Smithfield's nose was bleeding and she was not breathing. That's when he called 911. The family says the man is the last known person to see Lauren alive. Police say he's not a suspect or a person of interest, and that they do not suspect foul play.
We want all the people of Bridgeport to be treated fairly and equally under the law. That didn't happen here. And everyone listening to this story needs to know that Lauren Smith Fields wasn't given the treatment that she should have been given.
Now, Smithfield's family have taken the initial steps to sue the city of Bridgeport and the police department. They allege that the Bridgeport Police Department failed to implement the proper crime scene investigation team to collect physical evidence, and that the city has failed to intervene. Today, on what would have been Lauren's 24th birthday, the family has planned a march and a celebration of life.
We're going to march. We're going to chant her name. We're going to wish her happy birthday. We're going to let balloons go.
They also have a powerful message that they want to share with the world.
Because we don't want this to, it's not just about Lauren. It's about every girl that could potentially go through something like this. We don't ever want this to happen to anybody. I don't want nobody to feel this pain.
If this story is hitting you the way it's hitting me right now, the best thing you can do is make sure more people hear it. Share this video with someone you know, right now. Don't wait until the end. Because Lauren's mother testified before state legislators. She changed a law, and the least we can do is make sure her daughter's name keeps being spoken. The family kept calling the police department for updates. They were told to stop calling. One detective reportedly hung up on Lauren's father. Her father, Everett Smith, said in testimony that he felt treated with disrespect and dismissiveness every single time he tried to get information about his own child's death.
We know that my daughter was not a drug user, and I had a second autopsy myself, paid out of pocket, because we felt so uncomfortable with the way it was handled.
Bridgeport's mayor eventually acknowledged that the department's handling caused the family unnecessary pain. That word unnecessary is doing a lot of work in that sentence. At this point, the story was still mostly local, but that was about to change. January 2022. Social media catches the story. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. People start sharing what happened to Lauren. The hashtags spread. Influencers picked it up. And then Cardi B tweets about it. That one tweet reportedly did something that weeks of family pressure had not. It pushed Bridgeport PD to open a formal narcotics probe backed by the DEA. Think about that for a second. The family calling, a father being hung up on, a mother testifying. None of that moved the needle fast enough, but a celebrity tweet did. I'm not criticizing Cardi B. She used her platform the right way. I'm saying the system failed so badly that it took a viral moment to force basic accountability. On January 23, 2022, what would have been Lauren's 24th birthday, hundreds of people marched through Bridgeport demanding justice. Her mother was there. Her family was there. People who had never met Lauren were there, holding signs, saying her name. Meanwhile, on January 24, 2022, the Connecticut Chief Medical Examiner released the autopsy results. And this is where the story takes a turn that raises more questions than it answers. Dr. James Gill's office ruled that Lauren Smith Fields died from acute intoxication due to the combined effects of fentanyl, promethazine, hydroxyzine, and alcohol. A fentanyl overdose, ruled accidental. Promethazine and hydroxyzine are antihistamines, the kind found in prescription medication. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine. And Lauren's family, her attorney, everyone who knew her, said the same thing. She was not a drug user. Attorney Darnell Crosland went to NPR. He went to Time magazine. He said the question wasn't just what killed her, it was who gave her those drugs, and how they got into her system. Because here's what the Emmys ruling actually tells you. It tells you what she died from. It does not tell you how those substances got there. No injection marks, no evidence of forced ingestion. So the official conclusion became accident. But her family says that doesn't add up. And the questions they're asking are not unreasonable. Most people stop here and accept the official ruling. But what comes next is the part that should make everyone uncomfortable. Let me stop here for a second. Because I know some of you are watching this and thinking, if the medical examiner said it was an accident, maybe it was just an accident. And look, maybe you're right. I'm not here to tell you what to think, but I am asking you to think. The evidence was left for 18 days. The family wasn't called, the apartment wasn't fully processed. The detective said the guy was a nice guy without any real investigation. If all of that had been done correctly, and the conclusion was still accidental overdose, that would be one thing. But it wasn't. So if you genuinely believe this investigation was handled fairly, I want to hear that argument. Drop it in the comments, because this conversation is too important for silence. In late 2023, Lauren's family filed a federal civil rights lawsuit. Named in the suit, the city of Bridgeport, 5 police officers, Bumble Incorporated and Matthew LaFountain. The amended complaint, filed in February 2025, alleges that Lauren and her family were deliberately discriminated against because of their race. That Bridgeport's police and government intentionally denied them justice. That the investigation was negligent to the point of a civil rights violation. As of early 2026, that lawsuit is still pending. No settlement confirmed, no one charged. The 2 detectives who handled the case, Angel Llanos and Kevin Cronin, were suspended during the internal review. They both returned to duty after arbitration. The sergeant who first responded to Lauren's apartment reportedly retired during the investigation. The DEA said its narcotics probe was expected to close with no arrests. No arrests. Let me tell you what did change, though. Because Lauren's mother made sure something changed. Chantel Fields stood before the Connecticut State Legislature and said, "When it comes to Black and brown people, you need to treat us like we're human. Contact us as soon as possible." And Connecticut passed a law. Police are now required to notify next of kin within 24 hours of identifying a death. That law exists because of Lauren. Because her mother refused to sit down and be quiet while the system tried to move on, the family paid for an independent autopsy. They hired their own private investigator. They have not stopped. Lauren's case is not the only one like this, not even close. I have a list of cases that follow this exact same pattern. A young Black woman, a suspicious death, an investigation that moved too slowly, a family left completely in the dark. And I will be covering every single one of them on this channel. If you are not subscribed, you are going to miss them. And some of those stories involve cities you live in right now. Hit subscribe. Turn on notifications, because the next story I drop might be the one that hits closer to home than you expect. Here is where I land on Lauren's story. The medical examiner ruled it an accident. Law enforcement closed the case. The official version says a 3-year-old woman accidentally ingested a fatal combination of fentanyl, antihistamines, and alcohol on a first date with a man she had never met in person before that night. And that no one is criminally responsible. Maybe that's true, but we will never know for certain. Because the evidence sat untouched for 18 days. Because the apartment wasn't properly processed. Because the family wasn't called. Because every time someone asked questions, they were told to stop asking. And when the only way to get a police department to take a Black woman's death seriously is to go viral, something is broken. Not a little broken. Deeply, structurally broken. Lauren Smith Fields wanted to be a physical therapist. She wanted to travel. She did hair and makeup. She ran track. She loved her family and had a whole life sitting in front of her, and nobody called her mother. To Chantel, to Everett, to Lauren's brothers, and to everyone who marched on her birthday demanding that her name meant something. This channel sees you. If Lauren's story moved you even a fraction of how it moved me putting it together, please share it, post it, send it to someone who needs to hear it. Because the reason cases like this get buried is because not enough people are watching, and you stayed until the end. That means you're one of the ones who actually cares. Subscribe, share, and come back. Because there are more stories like Lauren's, and every single one of them deserves to be told. To Lauren's family, I am so deeply sorry for your loss, and even more sorry for the additional pain that was layered on top of it by the very people who were supposed to help. You deserved better. Lauren deserved better. I hope the fight you started brings the answers you are still waiting for. And to everyone watching, thank you for staying until the end. I will see you in our next true crime story.